What's the Okinawa song?
There's a boku ga umareta konoshima no.
Yeah, that's about as far as I get.
That's the best. Bro, that's the song I was trying to think of. The so. Yeah. That's the best song, man, I swear.
That is. Track.
Yes.
Welcome back to the Den. I'm your host, Masashi, and...
What's up? I'm Jay. I am the Den in the Den.
All right. As always, we have from last time, this episode, we have our guest as well. If you can introduce yourself again.
Guys, my name is Joe Kamana. Happy to be here. Have a yarn with the Den.
Yeah. Can you say that in Japanese now, please?
What can I know?
You're going to piss out of it.
Yeah, nah.
You getting used to the podcast?
No, not really. But nah, grateful to be here.
I'm glad you're here too.
Grateful to have you.
It's always good.
I feel like you seem very calm right
you
now.
do,
But
yeah.
whenever you're probably out in the field playing rugby, probably like changed. Like,
on the rugby field, like a bit nervous leading into the game.
oh really?
Like I can't really eat.
Oh really?
Like I'd rather have those the jelly energy drink.
Oh,
energy jellies.
yeah.
So I'd probably like just have 2 of those, and that's pretty much my prep.
Oh,
Yeah, so
you get
my
nervous
food prep.
easily?
Yeah.
Oh,
If I'm not nervous, I know I'm not going to play well. Like if I'm nervous, I know I'm actually like I care.
oh.
Yeah.
If I'm not nervous, I don't care. Yeah, so
Interesting.
yeah, so I'm nervous right now, so I care.
That means you're gonna perform well.
Yeah, try.
Do you get nervous
yeah.
on the field?
Like most of the like I always get nervous building up towards the game, but once that whistle goes, the prep that I've put in towards the week has allowed me to be. I like to play with confidence. Like I do stuff that you're probably not allowed to do, but you know that's my style of playing. I like to play aggressive, but I'm always nervous. But that's part of the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Interesting. You guys are both different.
Yeah,
How you play. Interesting. Okay. So today I want to talk about. So right now the Rugby World Cup is out. It has started already. It's in France this year. Have you guys watched it yet?
Funny note, I actually speak French.
what do you know how to say in French, mate?
Bonjour, bonsoir, je m'appelle Jayden. Voulez-vous coucher quoi? Fais-toi pas.
I hear a lot of booing from the French people.
No, it actually sounds legit.
That's honestly, you can speak any language you want to change the tone and speed.
You're like a chameleon, sort of like.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
You just you can change. Yeah.
Transformer.
Yeah.
That's a vehicle.
Oh.
Okay, so did you guys watch the game? You guys watch the game? Or you guys are interested in it? Because you guys are rugby players.
Yeah, interested in the game. Quite disappointed. Got up at 3:30 this morning. Saturday morning. Just to watch the All Blacks.
Oh, you watched the first game?
Yeah. So had to watch the first game, especially France the All Blacks. Quite disappointing. Waking up 3 a.m. When I could have just kept my eyes closed. But yeah, no, it is what it is, man. Hopefully, other boys can go well moving forward.
Cuz, quick question.
Yeah.
You moved to Australia when you're 13, right?
Yeah.
And you live in Australia right now.
Yeah.
Who do you go for, All Blacks or Wallabies?
Oh,
No, it's always been the All Blacks.
Yeah.
It's always been the All Blacks, no matter what. But I don't know. I think around World Cup time, it's a bit different. Like where you actually go for the All Blacks, but like when the World Cup's not on, like you pretty much just want to watch rugby just for a good game. Like I enjoy watching a good game instead of like one team flogging the other team.
is it big? Like World Cup season in New Zealand, is it like it's like a big deal for you guys?
Oh, in New Zealand, like all the young kids grow up wanting to be an All Black.
Oh.
So that's pretty much on everyone's mind. Everyone's dream is to become an All Black. But yeah, it's an interesting one, man. Like the All Blacks is like number one.
All Blacks
number
are, everyone.
Number one in New Zealand. So
New Zealand, there's so many rugby fields everywhere. You go to school, lunchtime, you're playing rugby with your mates. Your mates on the weekend, they all go play rugby, so you want to go play with them. So everyone grows up around that rugby culture with the ultimate goal of being an All Black. For some, it can be achieved, but it's a very small percentage.
It's pretty much like here, like baseball. Everyone wants to be a baseball player here in Japan. So in New Zealand, everyone wants to be an All Black.
Oh, that's a good example.
Yeah, baseball is like number one.
Yeah, in Japan, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Everyone wants to be like that. What's the Japanese guy?
Shohei.
Yeah, Shonten.
Shohei. Yes, my mate.
He's the man. He's from Iwata, right?
Iwate, yes.
Yeah, Iwata.
Iwate. Yeah, Iwate is.
Get it right, man.
There's a rugby team there.
Yeah, Yamaha. Is it? Yamaha?
Jayden,
It's Sea Waves, bro. Sea Waves. Komashi, Iwate, Sea Waves.
Oh, no, Iwata.
Iwate.
Oh, yeah. Iwata, what's it? Iwata?
That's Shizuoka.
Oh, Shizuoka,
Oh, is
bro.
it? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
That's
Shizuoka.
my-
Yamaha.
That's your hometown, bro.
That's what, yeah, that's what I'm
Fake.
like. Iwate.
Iwate.
Yeah, Iwate, yeah.
But Shohei Ohtani is from Iwate, which is
Yeah.
the Sea Waves team.
Yeah,
And apparently this guy's from Shizuoka, but he doesn't know that.
yeah.
I don't have any memories of Shizuoka, so
So Shizuoka's Iwata.
Iwata. I have-
Yamaha team, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And do you even like rugby?
Right,
Get
I
your
swear,
countries.
yeah, no, it's quite difficult. Eh? Everything's pretty much similar. Iwata.
Yeah, it does. Is it-
Tomato.
That's just pronunciation difference.
Yeah, well,
Chameleon. But yeah, well, what's your take on the rugby?
I'm not really. I don't really know much about the rules.
Yeah.
I watched Jayden's game for the first time last year, his last game, and I thought it was. At first, I thought it was very similar to American football in a way. Like, the only difference is that when the ball goes away from the player, it's still play.
Yeah.
But in football, when the ball is lost, then the other team gets the ball. So, in that sense, like, rugby rule is still kind of unknown to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, when does the other player gets the ball and stuff, because like you guys keep on playing until like some foul occurs, and then the ball goes to the other team and stuff like that. So, but it's a interesting sports.
Yeah.
When I saw it, when I watched his game,
Yeah.
it was.
that's an interesting perspective.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, from someone that doesn't really know rugby to think of it like that. In a good way.
I thought you were making fun of you.
No, in a good way. But if you do think about rugby, there is a lot of rules. Like, I don't know all the rules.
Yeah.
But
neither.
really?
I enjoy it. It's a real... Would you ever play it?
No.
Why?
Because I'm afraid of big guys like you guys coming after me. I will definitely throw the ball away.
Yeah, you'll be a good halfback then. Get rid of the ball.
Oh, is that the job for the halfback?
Yeah, well, they usually scoot, take off, or they pass. So
Oh.
they usually have the best pass in the game.
How do you guys determine your like position, like your best position?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Because like every sports has like a position, right? Like soccer has defense, forward, midfield. Even American football has position as well. I was wondering if rugby had like a specific position you guys are a specialist in.
For myself, I like to see myself playing the centres.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'd prefer 13. But like the last few years, I've been playing on the wing, on the right wing. So yeah, but I prefer playing 13.
oh.
And yeah,
13 is like what?
centre. So you have your scrum half, the number 9, and then you'll have your playmaker, which is he runs pretty much the show, and then you have your 12. That's just your ball carrier, or he can kick, and then you have your 13 that can have a crack. It's usually like a one-on-one with like a centre, and then you have your finishers on the edge, and then your fullback, which is he can pretty much do everything.
Oh, you guys position yourself as numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about?
Oh, I play number 8. I used to be a centre, but I'm a little bit heavier now, so I'm getting closer to the forward. So now I'm a number 8. So number 8 is a forward who, if you ever see a scrum, that time where they all pack in and smash each other's heads into like that formation, I'm the guy at the back.
Oh, pushing forward kind of, or getting the ball.
Supposed to be, but I always put my head in there because I don't like my head, and it's not good for the ears. So I just wait for the ball to get to the back and just grab it.
Oh, okay. What's the most dangerous position, prone to like injuries? I'm sure every position is dangerous, but like, what's the most dangerous?
I don't know. It could be props.
What does props do?
Props, they're like the front of the scrum. Oh, you can explain it because you're a forward.
So you gotta sit here. That's because you're a prop.
You're a forward.
No, prop is a position that's not very. You're in the trenches pretty much. They are the most. They're the biggest guys in the team. They're usually really tall and really big, and it's dangerous because the scrum obviously is when they just 3-on-3. Well, it's actually 8-on-8, but the front 3 pretty much just smash like that together. So you're putting a lot of pressure on your neck and your back and your legs pretty much. But to keep it like that, it's quite difficult. And you're getting, like, there's 5 people behind you pushing. So that's a lot of pressure on your neck. And then if it goes down, you're going head first down.
Oh, wow.
So it's a really tough position. It's a position that not many people like to play. It's a position that doesn't get much of the limelight, but they are very, very important in the game of rugby. So I would say, I would agree as well. That's a very dangerous position, and you don't get much credit being in that position, but you do a lot of the dirty work in the game of rugby.
Oh, okay.
And in the UK and France too, I think they're like one of the highest paid players as well. Tight head props.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You would think of it as in American football as the tackle, the offensive tackle.
Yeah.
The guys on the they do a lot of the offensive line. You would think of it like that. They do a lot of the hard work, like they get smashed around and stuff like that. But they're very, very important to the rest of the team.
What I'm interested is, like, both of you are playing professional. Like, payment wise, does the position determine your payment rank? Because I don't know, like, I don't know if there's any good example, but I was wondering, like, if, like you mentioned, like UK and if you're doing that position, you get paid a lot more because of the risk. Yeah. Is there like actually those kind of like?
I think for tight heads as well, because when they go into the scrum, they're taking on like a prop. They're taking on 2 people, so the tight heads have got a strong, tougher job. So in France and the UK, it's more of a forwards game, and they tend to have more scrums, and the forwards more like using the ball more than you'd shift out to the backs. But yeah, and it just depends on like your CV. So whatever you have or whatever you've accomplished, like pretty much dictates how much you're going to earn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of things actually. Like skill-wise, obviously, but like you said, CV. If you've played for the international level, that's an extra. If you're well-known and if you're a likable player, that's also another good thing to have going towards a team. And position-wise as well. Obviously, some players have a lot more control over the game than other players, but it's a whole bunch of things. I don't think it's just position-wise only. It's a whole lot of things.
Okay, interesting. So, Joe, you played in many team in the past, international-wise, and in Japan as well. Yep. How many teams have you been to Japan? Like 2 teams in Japan or 3?
This will be my 4th team.
4th team?
Yep.
So comparing to Japan's team, how they play style, and then comparing to the teams outside of Japan, how different is it? Like they're
there's a massive difference. Like compared to like speed-wise, Japan, like the speed here is like outrageous. Like, it's so quick.
Oh, okay.
It's real quick. Compared to back home, it's more of like smashing up front, more physical. But yeah, here you've got to be real fit and I think you got to drop your weight if you've come from a foreign country,
Oh, really?
just to keep up with the footy. Because like the Japanese boys here, like they run all day, and like if you were to break a line back home, like people tend to like give up on the chase, but like here in Japan, you've got like nearly the whole team chasing you, man. It's crazy. Like they never give up, man. But yeah, it's I enjoy the footy here, which is awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's much more, like, in a way, competitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I reckon Japan's going to be probably one of the best leagues in the world.
Oh, really?
Like before the foreigners, everyone's trying to come to Japan to play rugby. Like you see all the best players in the world, they're all coming straight after the World Cup. Like you've got the likes of Adi Severe, who's one of the legends of the All Blacks at the moment. He plays 7-8. He's going to Kobe. And then you got the likes of like superstars like Cheslin Kobe. He's coming to Suntory. Gareth Anscombe as well. He plays for Wales. And then you already got like Lamapi and that already here. You've got Bowden Barrett, Aaron Smith, who are like big superstars for the All Blacks, are going to Toyota. And Richie Mo'unga too, he's like probably one of the best 10s in the world that's going to Toshiba. So
Oh, wow.
you're getting all the best players here in Japan, man. So I reckon Japan's going to be like one of the best leagues in the world.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Like all the like top players.
Oh, it's awesome, man. Like I'm just trying to push myself to like get a spot in like the 23 so I can actually go up against the best. Because like for myself, like going up against the best, like we've got nothing to lose but everything to gain. So like we can go out there and just have a good crack and compete against the best, which is like something that I look forward to.
Okay. Here's a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Are you guys more afraid of international player or Japanese player?
I would say Japanese player, man.
Oh, okay.
Because when I go up against like a good player that's like at international like level, I've got nothing to lose. But when I go up against a Japanese person, I've got heaps to lose, and I've got to be on my game. Like if he beats me, then I look stupid.
Oh, okay.
But like if an international guy beats me, like he's meant to beat me, because he's at that level where he's like elite. So I'm more scared of a Japanese player, man, than anything else. That's why like every time I go into a game, I'm nervous. Like every game, doesn't matter what it is. Like I'm always nervous.
Who was an international player that you saw on the other side of the field and you're like, whoa?
I haven't really played against like a real big name, eh? Like, I lied, sorry. Rendraja?
You played against
Semi Rendraja and Tuisova. At the World Cup.
The Sevens
World Cup.
Oh.
I went to go try and tackle Tuisova and I was literally hanging onto one of his legs, man.
So these two players, for people that don't know, they are Fijians and they are made out of stone.
Like literally.
They are literally like
That
carved.
Yeah.
They are like muscle on top of muscle on top of muscle. They look like they were built in the lab and they're not human.
Pretty much. Like this guy, Josh Tuisova, his legs are like massive, man, and he is just built like a brick.
Dang.
And then you got Rendraja, who's quick, massive as well, and he's just, I reckon I would rate him as one of the best centers in the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's quite an elite player. And then who else? I got done by, I think it was Carlin Isles.
Oh,
Perry Baker, sorry.
Perry Baker.
At Sydney.
Okay, yeah.
Sydney Sevens.
Perry Baker is, for those that don't know, is an American that is very, very fast.
Yeah.
Very fast and well known in the Sevens rugby world.
Yeah, pretty much like a greyhound. He's quick.
Great.
Yeah, he's quick, man.
Sounds fast.
Tall, skinny, very fast.
Dang.
And in Sevens, that's very important. Speed. If you have speed, you can dominate the game of Sevens.
What about yourself?
I remember when I was a young guy, and I played for a club called PSI when I first just got here, and we played Sevens in a Sevens tournament, like the club Sevens.
Yep.
and we were versing Rico. And I had just finished high school in New Zealand, and I came over to Japan. And my team that I supported in New Zealand was the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs and Waikato. And it's a funny story. I've played with him now, but Colin Burke, he was. But I was like, he was the number 8 for the Chiefs, and I was like, holy crap, this guy's huge. He's look at his beard. He looks like a caveman.
Yeah, angry man.
Yeah, man. But I was like, I was not really. I was like, whoa, but I was so keen, just to like, I wanted to smash him.
Yeah.
That's how, but I didn't. But
but it gives you those kind of opportunities, go up against the best.
Yeah, I love like foreigners. I love to play against foreigners. Like, in my team, I'm the only foreigner. Yeah. And I love that feeling. Like, I want all 6 of them to come at me. Yeah. And I'm gonna go at them as hard as I can. Like, I have something to prove. But like you said, I hate like Japanese players, man. I kind of like, maybe sometimes it's a little bit cocky, but like I feel like I'm better.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah. And when they do something better than me, it frustrates me.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
But because that's how I like to play. But that's why I always... Japanese, there's some really good Japanese players here, real skillful, and you kind of let your guard down against that, and when they do you well, and that hurts me more because they shouldn't be doing that to me. But yeah.
At the Sevens, I think one guy that stood out for me at Sevens was Kippe. Is it Kippe?
Oh yeah.
From
little,
yeah. Like, he steps like a Māori man.
Yeah.
He's got good feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a real good Japanese boy. I think he's at Cannon, signed at Cannon. So.
Yeah, some good young players coming through the university system.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think he went to Rotorua Boys, man, for a year, Kippe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he's got the Māori step in him, man. Learned from the real Māoris.
Were you guys, have you been injured by a Japanese player when you played in Japan? Especially when you play in Japan. Oh, you too.
Yeah. I've been injured quite a bit. I done my knee, so I went up to go catch a ball. Can't remember what position, it was a forward. So I went to go to land, and he's gone kamikaze straight for the bottom of my knee, and snapped my PCL. Still don't have a PCL to this day. So that was my 3rd year here. But yeah, the Japanese boys can hit hard, but they always target below your knees. So back home, that's not allowed. But,
really?
Yeah, grass cut.
Can't grass cut.
Yeah.
Oh.
Otherwise, that happens.
Right.
PCL's gone. But yeah, back home, you can't do that. Over here, it's totally fine.
That's you can't do that in a normal rugby game as well.
Yeah. Oh, well, here is fine, but back home is like a penalty.
They kind of like manage it different. Well, because I think it's just become normal here, like just to go that low. I think that's how they're taught.
Yeah.
And when they get older, they kind of modify it themselves, and it becomes very, very dangerous. New Zealand, you're not taught to go that low, and if you do, it will become a penalty. Just because it's dangerous. It's actually a very dangerous style of tackle. So, I think it's just managed different. I think it's controlled different by referees in New Zealand than it is here in Japan.
Yeah. So like if Japanese people play in that way, if they go to like World Cup and stuff like that, because you usually see that, they go really low because, like you said, they were taught to play it that way.
Yeah.
Because because foreigners are bigger than them, so they have to go by the knee to like push them down, tackle them down. So wouldn't it be? It's a different rule. Wouldn't it be like?
You rarely see that like an international level.
At that level, that won't be happening.
Oh, okay.
But you see it a lot here in like top league.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
In a normal game, wow.
Yeah, it's just play on.
Doesn't that like? So when you see that, doesn't it scare you?
Oh.
Like you don't want to be tackled by these guys.
Scares the person that it's happening to. But yeah. Like you don't think those things are
you
gonna,
can't play scared.
You
like
can't.
If you play rugby scared, you're not gonna. You shouldn't be out there in the first place.
Oh, okay.
You just take
so you don't go
take
up
it when
there
it comes.
If it happens, well, you can't change it. So
Yeah.
for me, when one of my biggest injuries, I'm not really I don't really get in the trenches. I don't really do any of the dirty work stuff. I like to take my pick my times wisely. But just coming at my thighs like they're real. Just diving at your thighs like what do you say daboku in English? Like a bruise built up of just like a massive
cork.
Charlie.
Like
yeah,
cork.
cork. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, I've had that so many times in both my thighs. They just dive at you shoulder first, or head first or whatever. No regard for their body.
They pretty much knock themselves out, man.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they know they have to go low because if they come up high on a foreigner, they're probably going to get thrown. So they got to go low. And it's a good technique. It's better to go low than high. But it's very painful when they get you really good.
You rarely see foreigners go low. They always hit you like chest up, sort of.
But you guys play in the Japanese league, so you guys get taught that, don't you?
What's that, sorry?
Going low. Don't the coaches tell you to go low?
No. Yeah. Some coaches do.
Okay.
Some coaches do, but like a lot of the boys don't really like going low. Like, cause for myself too, I've got to get my timing right. If my time is out, I'm gonna get stepped. So like for me, if I keep my feet and just follow through, then I'm more of a chance of getting the person. If I dip too low, then I could be gone. So yeah, it's a challenging one. Like it just depends on the situation.
Okay.
But yeah, we do get taught like to go low all the time. But yeah, I don't tend to go low a lot. So yeah, I'm more of an upfront, like sort of chest
Close
and all.
line.
Yeah.
High tackle.
But yeah, no, you get taught from a young age to like around the hips and stuff, and just like around just above your hips. But yeah.
Yeah, the correct technique is around the hips, down low. That's the best way to tackle, but that's not the only way to tackle. If you can get a good area, and if you can hit them right across their chest, it's gonna hurt them more than it's gonna hurt you. And a higher risk, but you get a better outcome if you can get them good.
Damn.
It's either you or him. Getting bumped off.
Should we show you an example? You wanna
No, thank you, please. I do not want to get.
I'll show you a high tackle and a low tackle.
No, thank you. We don't have space. So luckily, we don't have space.
Plenty space.
We can make it.
Wow, rugby sounds like a dangerous sport compared to American football. I guess like American football has its own like danger, but rugby sounds more dangerous in a way.
Yeah.
When I hear it like this.
Yeah, right.
You guys are more prone to injuries.
Yeah, because just taking the conversation quite back, but what got you into rugby as a
teen?
Yeah,
Young age. Just watching it all the time, and pretty much just seeing my brother James.
yeah. What was the influence of your brother? Because people that don't know, your older brother James was also a very well known rugby player. And
yeah. So he was going well, man, back in Tokoro and stuff, making all like the age groups and stuff. And I used to just watch him all the time, and like he used to play fullback, and he would always make like try-saving tackles and stuff.
Yeah.
Then he started progressing, went into the Waikato ITM.
Just a quick question. What about James's hair back in the days?
Yeah, the long hair. Yeah, no one would even know, eh? Yeah.
With the stash.
Now the man's with the old huggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, he man, I used to look up to him and watch him all the time, and like I used to be happy as to go and like see him play. Always look forward to it. But yeah, he played for Waikato, played in Tasman, and then he shifted off to South Africa and played for the Lions for a few years, and then made his way to Kamaishi, Iwate.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was in Kamaishi, I think, for 5 years before he retired and went back to Papamore, the Mount.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to see him come home with like kit. I think the kit.
Oh yeah.
Get free kit all the time.
Young kid in New Zealand, the best thing that you can get from the rugby is real good kit. The gears, the clothes. Once you get all the gears, you're like, man, you made it.
You cracked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to see him like get it. Like I think his first sponsor, I think, was Lotto. I still remember Lotto. But yeah, I used to see him bring home like free kit and stuff. And yeah, that's probably what inspired me to like play rugby and want to earn that sort of stuff and get free stuff. Pretty much, man.
Yeah, the kit, always
The kit.
Can never go wrong with a good
Always
kit.
the kit. Yeah. So, what about yourself? What drove you to play professional rugby?
Oh, it's a good question. Well, when I was little, my dad used to play like club rugby.
Yeah.
And that was like my hangout spot with all my mates. Like that's where we used to hang out.
Yeah.
He'd go play at the local club, Melville MLV 843.
What colours are they? White
Red and green.
Red and green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my local footy club, and my dad played. I played with the juniors, like all the little grades, and then my dad played for like the reserves, which is like the old people team. And I used to love it because he used to hang out, play with his mates. I used to love watching them like on the bus rides to the games, on the bus rides back from the games, in the clubhouse. So they have a feed and they're all having like drinks together.
Yeah.
I used to see that as a little kid. I was like, man, that looks just so fun. It's not a professional environment, but just the bonds that you make.
Just the culture.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff.
culture with rugby. Like I really enjoyed it. And I'm here, a little fella. Yeah. I'm hanging out with all my dad's teammates' kids, and we're all just chilling around, running around bare feet on the rugby field. Yeah. Like playing with the rugby balls, playing rugby on the field. Like I just loved being in that whole rugby culture. And then I went through to high school, and that's when I started making rep teams, and that's when it could become a career path. Maybe not in New Zealand, but overseas. And that's when the offer came for a scholarship to come over here, and I was like, oh, just see how it goes. And 10 years later, still here.
Awesome.
So I loved being around that rugby culture. It's different.
Yeah.
You don't know until once you're in it, and that's a real cool environment to be in.
One thing I wanted to know, bro, like, because you came from New Zealand and stuff, surrounded by like Pollies and stuff and Māoris and that, what was the culture like when you first got to Japan, but going into university, bro? Like, what was the culture like in there?
Oh, yeah, that was the culture, as in like, because it was just Japanese people everywhere, and you're still trying to, like, first of all, I was still trying to adjust to the weather, because I came and it was winter and it was freezing. And then the food, they brought out like this fish, and I was like, I wasn't a big fan of fish at the time. I was like, now I have to get rid of this. And then there's no translators, and so the guy that was like taking us around, he was trying to like speak to us in broken English, and I was like, oh man, I have no clue what you're talking about. But when we went to the university, we met a couple of the Tongan boys, and Tongans are real rich in their culture. They're real strong in their connection. And one of them, Michael Toloke, he's Tongan, and he kind of like introduced us to the other guys, Kite. So it's another Tongan guy, and there was another guy that originally came, Mosese. He's not here anymore, and real great, thankful for them, because Tongans, they like to stick together, but they kind of welcome us into their little circle. And it was just cool to be not the same Polynesian culture, but within that Polynesian community, and just something to remind me of home. Like, you're surrounded by Japanese, and I was trying to make the most of being in the Japanese culture, but I still wanted that something to remind me of home. So it was a real comforting thing to be around. What about you when you went to Mazda? Did you have met how many other foreigners? 2 others or 3 others?
So when I first got there were only 2.
Oh, yeah.
So there was Jay Havili and AJ Gilbert. He played, I think, AJ Gilbert played for Waratahs in Queensland Reds. So yeah, they made it quite easy for me, like coming over to Mazda and stuff. But still difficult communicating on the field. Like, I didn't know a thing. I was just like, hey. just use the hands, man.
That's interesting. How do you communicate? Like, so when you came here, you had a translator already?
No, we didn't have a translator, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you just pretty much just speak like broken English, man.
Sign language.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Just broken English.
Rugby is a pretty simple communication game. Like,
give it, now
pass.
It is. Yeah. After a year, you pick it up, man. Not even that. Like, maybe a few months, and then like you pick up the rugby language quite easy, and then you just progress from there.
Okay, but whenever like you guys have like what tactics when it comes to like doing certain like jobs in the field.
Yeah.
How do you interpret that? I'm sure it's all in Japanese.
Oh no, but like so they'll have it on the computer.
Oh, okay.
And then they'll have your lines, so they'll have your number there, and then it'll show you what line to run, and like if you play rugby back home, it's quite easy. Like when you come here to Japan, it's just a communicating part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference in rugby in New Zealand compared to rugby in Japan?
I reckon Japan's way better, to play rugby. Club footy back home was cool, like just to be amongst all the boys, and like it's quite competitive now in Melbourne. Like all the teams are starting to pick up, which is awesome. But like once the boys get a win, man, like singing the team song and stuff, and just being in the changing room and watching the boys just go for it is unreal. It's actually an awesome feeling, man. But yeah, it's Japan's rugby is I reckon going to be the best in the world.
What about skill-wise, the Japanese players compared to foreign players? Because I have my opinion on it. Well, what's yours?
I reckon here in Japan, like back home, we've got like guys with flair and everything, and they can do their own thing and stuff. But like over here, I find that Japanese players are easier to teach. Like you tell them something, they'll actually do it to like the T. But like guys back home, like they have their own sort of flair and stuff, and they pretty much just do their own sort of thing. But yeah, I find that Japanese are good listeners and stuff, and always willing to learn, Japanese players. But yeah, I actually rate a lot of Japanese players here. Like there's one player that, at Suntory, his name's Tiger. He's unreal.
Sounds scary already.
I reckon he's like one of the best players at Suntory.
Oh, okay.
The way he plays, it's quite interesting. How he plays like sort of like a foreigner.
Oh,
Always looking for an offload. Like he's got good skills.
Do you think that's a good thing though, or a bad thing?
No,
the way that the Japanese.
what I like in what way?
And like what I think is like foreigners, well, New Zealanders, rugby comes, they get taught about it, comes to them really natural. So they have a natural flair, natural style they play. Japan, it's kind of taught, so it has to be taught, and it's real robotic. Like they can't, well, some can, but they can't think off the cuff, or if there's an offload, there needs to be, like the good players, they'll know when to do offload, but in Japan, it's kind of taught, don't do that, because that's not
what
you're meant to do.
Yeah.
But the way you see foreigners play, they play with a bit of flair. Like this is the structure, but if they see space, go for it. But in Japan, some players do, the good players do, but this is a structure. Even if it's open, that's not what you're not meant to do.
Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan.
Yeah. I think a lot of Japanese players are like that.
Yeah.
Like pretty much stick to the plan. Don't go out of your comfort zone. But like when they do, man, they're unreal.
Yeah.
That's why I like the guy Tiger. He always looks for an offload. Like he's always playing to make a break or offload. And then there's another one called Mikia. He set up this try yesterday against Mitsubishi. So he was running, got the ball, and he got tackled. But because he knew he couldn't pass the ball, so he spun himself around and kicked the ball. And for the other guy to chase, and the other guy ended up chipping it on and like scoring it. It was unreal. So assist of the year, I reckon. Try assist of the year, man. It was actually crazy. Yeah. So
wait, like in rugby, like I'm not sure about the rules and stuff, like, but when you kick the ball, it's still game, right? Because it's either you or the other player gets the ball. Yeah.
So when you kick it, the players have got to be behind the person that kicks the ball for them to be onside, so they can chase after the ball's being kicked.
Oh, so there are specific rules for that as well. So if you kick it where there's no play, where there's players are
in front of you,
so there's a line basically.
So pretty much like if I'm kicking it and you guys are chasing, we're going that way, and you're in front of me, you're offside.
Oh,
so you've got to get behind me like here, and I'll kick it, then you can go.
Oh, okay. So that means all your teammate has to be behind you.
Yeah. unless I kick the ball and I sprint past you and then you're onside. I'll put you onside.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of process for you guys when you guys play rugby then.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a lot of things to think about.
You don't really need to think about that sort of stuff. Like that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Just wait in the middle for the kick.
All I know is when I get the ball, I'm not passing.
Do you never pass?
Nah, I never pass. Everyone knows that I don't pass. I'll offload, but I won't pass.
Yeah. Just for a dummy.
Yeah.
Chip and chase.
Anything 10 meters from the try line, I'm not passing.
Why don't you want to pass? Is it
Because
better?
I want to score a try.
Get a try.
Oh, okay.
So currently in my team's preseason,
Yeah.
I'm the top try scorer.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Just straight off the back.
It's either scrum or a maul.
Just take it off the number 2.
Yeah, or when pick and going. So when you ball it, you just pick and go. I always just wait. And then when I see it opening, I'll take it.
Just 2 meters out.
Yeah. So everyone knows my team. If I get the ball, I'm not passing. Tell us a little about your journey to play for Japan Sevens. What was that like?
Like I thought nothing of it when I first come to Japan, man.
Yep.
And because I came in the time where it was 3 years till you can play for Japan.
Yep.
Now they've changed the rule to 5 years now, I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, no, I didn't think of anything of it. But Coach Damien Corona,
Bums.
he I got a message from them. I think it was Shukanami-san. He emailed our club and stuff, and then it all just pretty much went from there, joining camps and stuff. But I remember that Wakayama camp, man, I was unfit, and it was cold as well. It was snowing,
It was snowing, yeah.
It was snowing, and we had to do the Bronco. I wasn't prepared, man.
Bronco is an aerobic fitness test that in rugby no one likes to do.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was supposed to be 5 minutes, but it's like a real mentally and aerobically, physically tough type of fitness test. I hate it.
So for you would have to run 20 meters back, 40 meters back, and 60 meters back. So you have to do that 5 times without stopping.
Ooh.
And
There we go. Another content right there. See if you can do it, eh?
Yeah.
I know I can't. I'll do it.
So you got to try and get it underneath 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Can you do it?
My best time was like 5 minutes 13.
You went over.
And then I was at that camp.
Was it that
Yeah.
camp? Far out. Nah, yeah, I think I ran like 5:20 something, nearly 5:30. I think. Like that was I think that was like my first time running a Bronco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was honestly dead after that.
Yeah.
But I was keen to because the boys ended up going to Las Vegas, eh?
Yeah.
And they were taking an invitational
Yeah.
team. I was gutted as I didn't go on there. Eh? That would have been cool. Have you been to Vegas?
No, I haven't been to Vegas. I only went to the LA one.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Oh, it was alright.
Yeah.
But we were in like the American, what do you call it? The American Olympic training facility.
Oh yeah.
That was cool to be in that environment. That was a pretty cool setup. How American Olympic athletes train.
Oh.
That's a very advanced setup that they have there. Massive complex too. It's like everything there.
Yeah,
So that was cool to be in that environment.
it'll be just like a level up from like Jizz. Is it Jizz here?
Just yeah.
Yeah.
How many games did you play for?
I can't remember the games, but I only went to Singapore, did the Sydney one, and then did the World Cup in San Francisco, and then we did a South America tour where we went to Uruguay and Chile. So just those 4, man, with Japan, which was awesome.
How do you feel being a foreigner and playing for Japan though? Like, how does that feel? How do you feel for that for you?
I don't know, bro. I was sort of proud to play for Japan. Eh?
Oh.
Like, I actually tell everyone Japan's pretty much home for me. Like I always say, oh, Japan's home. Pretty much my second home, man. And when I go back home to Melbourne, I like everyone else. When are you going back? And I always say I'm going home soon. I pretty much call Japan home because I've been here so long, and when I come here, I know where everything is. Like I'm coming back to my house here, I know where everything is. But like when I go back to my house in Melbourne, like I feel lost. It's weird as, but yeah. The only thing I miss back home is my dogs.
Oh.
And I'd say my wife. But yeah, my dogs. Nah, she already knows. She already knows, man. My dogs mean the world to me. So yeah.
Any plans to get back into the Japan Sevens team towards the next Olympics, or?
Nah. I wish I carried on playing sevens.
Yep.
Just man, because when you're in the seven space, you get to like travel the world.
Yeah.
So I see now that the boys are in Sydney at the moment. But yeah, it's actually a good environment to be a part of. So like you actually work real hard, and then you've actually got something to work towards. Like I think before the World Cup, man, we were getting flogged like every day, fitness every day, but like you knew the end goal was making the World Cup, so like you didn't really care about getting flogged every day. You did in a way, but like you just had something to like you had a goal to achieve. So, but yeah, being a part of that environment, man, is it's just taught me like a lot of resilience and stuff. So,
is the sevens different compared to
training wise as it is?
Oh, is it much more harder?
Yeah, there's more running.
Oh.
A lot of running, and what was it? The rower. The rower is what got me too, because I was injured. I was injured before the World Cup. I think something in my hammy maybe, and me and Chito.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were on the rower, man, when we were up in Hokkaido, and we were just rowing. Like I think we were doing like 1K time trials. I think we had to do like 5 of them or something. Just do them as fast as you can on the rower.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was it was actually pretty tough. But then it actually helped you with all your running and stuff too once you got back on the field, which was real good. But yeah, being a part of that environment was awesome, and got to see a bit of the world, which was cool.
So you guys got to decide whether to stay in the sevens or be out of it?
It's more on the company.
Oh.
So if you sign with a company, it's pretty much up to them if you can go and join them. So what it was when I was at Mazda, I was allowed to go and play in the sevens, and then when I went to Coca-Cola, I wasn't. Same as at Shockey as well. I wasn't allowed to go play sevens. So it's pretty much because the companies pretty much pay your full salary, and you only get like a sort of like a little allowance from the sevens program. So the company's got more of a say whether you go or not.
What's your opinion on that though? Like how the companies kind of control what you can and can't do within the rugby world?
For me, man, I've fortunate enough to play for Japan in the sevens. So I would like to carry on. Like back then, now I'm like nearly 32. So they
You're 32
yeah.
right now? This year?
This month.
This month? Oh, happy birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah. No, it's like in a week and a half.
Oh my God, he's younger than me?
Yeah.
You don't look younger than me.
How old are you?
I'm 34 next
34.
month.
34 next month.
Oh my God, wow, that just shocked you. I'm sorry to disturb.
No.
I'm 28.
Yeah, you're a little boy, right?
Yeah, no, I'm only 32, man.
Dang.
But yeah, no, that's pretty old in like rugby years.
It is.
Yeah, like so what? How old do you want to be when you like stop playing rugby?
It pretty much just depends on the body, man. Like if the body's all good, the mind's good, then everything's sweet.
Okay.
But like if the last 2 years ago, I was battling like probably mentally, just being injured. It was quite tough because I couldn't do much, and I was on the sideline for a whole year. And it just sort of just played on my mind, like whether I should be just playing or not, if I wanted to stick around playing rugby or just give it all up. But yeah, just stuck to my guns. My wife helped me through the process. Because sometimes I'd wake up like just angry.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll just wake up angry, man, just for like, I don't know, just no reason, because I can't play. I can't like do much. I'm in a boot. I was in a boot for like probably 4 months or something. yeah, like just the mental side just takes a bit of a toll on you.
What do you think about mental health or mental awareness in rugby? Do you think it's a topic that needs to be talked about more? Or?
Oh, 100%, bro, because it's not just myself that's struggling sometimes. Like, there's a lot of boys, I reckon, that struggle. But it's just up to us whether we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind talking about that sort of stuff, like, but you got to pick and choose, like, when to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like, a lot of the boys can go into, like, those sort of dark places and stuff where I think it's a good thing when the boys talk about it. Because then, like, you feel a bit lighter when you leave the conversation. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind starting up a thing where, like, just to build, like, mental health and stuff. That's why I started, like, the Daijubadiska teas.
Yeah.
So we'll probably just have, like, a one-off sort of limited edition that would come in, like, probably every 3 months or something, just something around mental health. So, yeah, I reckon mental health, like, issues are pretty big in rugby.
Yeah,
or
I
even
think
life generally,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah. What about yourself? What do you think about that sort of stuff?
Mental health. I think it's like because like when you even regardless like you're a sports player or just living your normal life, you get depressed. And Japan, if you talk in Japan, like Japan is an environment where you are prone to that. You're very exposed to a lot of things, like noises and stuff that makes you that puts you down in a way. And so like overcoming mental issues, like, yeah, like you said, talking to people, timing, whether you want to talk about it or not is very important, because just talking about it a little bit makes you feel better. But at the same time, it takes time to do it. So I'm really interested in like so you said that your wife helped you overcome it as well, but like how it all depends on you to overcome it in the end. So how did you like? What would be one advice you could give to those who are like, kind of like going through that?
I think what she done for me, man, is just helped me. Like, she helped me through like quite a bit, because like I was down and out. Like I just started up at Shockey, and pretty much my first training session I snapped my Achilles, and I've just signed with them as well, and I was out for the whole year. And like what was playing on my mind was probably what the coaches in that thought, what everyone thought. Oh, we've just signed this guy and he's just gone and snapped his Achilles, out for the whole season, not going to take part in like any of the rugby games. And that was playing on my mind all the time. And like I'd be just down on that, and sometimes I didn't want to go to training, but like my wife was there like pushing me and saying that everything's all good, just keep going, like just helping me through that. Like sometimes I just wanted to just stay home, man. Like I didn't want to rock up, because I just thought that they might be like speaking bad things about me because I'm injured and they've just signed me. So, but yeah, she pretty much just like pushed me through everything and just helped me get off the bed and go to training, man, and just help support the boys. So that was a big thing from her. So grateful to my wife. Yeah.
No, I think mental health in rugby is a topic that needs to be talked about more, and I think to raise awareness on it is big as well, because I think it's a top. People in rugby have like this. They have to be tough. They have to be tough. They have to be strong. Don't show your weakness. Like on the field, you don't want to show your weakness to the opposition, otherwise you'll get dominated. But off the field, I think you don't have to be that tough guy as well. And I think providing safe spaces for people to talk, because you can't force someone to talk about their feelings. Like I'm still someone that doesn't talk about my feelings, but these last 2 years have been some of the toughest 2 years of my life, mentally, and finding those places to be able to talk about it is still hard. Like there's not much around, but for someone to talk about it, you can't force someone to talk. You have to encourage them or provide them with that type of safe space so they can talk about it. And I remember when you brought out Daijubadiska. It's clothing, but it's raising awareness of like, is someone okay? Like just asking someone if they're okay. You're not trying to say, come on, talk about it. You're just trying to use your clothing as a vehicle to help raise awareness for mental health, and just something simple as asking someone if daijoubu or if they're okay, and providing that safe space of like saying it's okay to be not okay. And so I think if you can create more platforms like that, or just raise awareness so that people can be encouraged and take the courage to speak about it, I think that's the first step in raising awareness for mental health. Because I think in rugby, especially within Polynesian culture, and also I think Japanese as well, like mental health in Japan, it's not you don't really hear about it, but you hear of a lot of suicide deaths and stuff like that. So I think providing awareness and creating that safe space so that people can just talk about it, because that's step one of trying to improve it. So
Yeah.
Is it like a big problem in the rugby industry, like mental like health wise? Like do people get depressed to the point that they can't just come back from it?
Yeah, I think a lot of players do, man, get quite depressed. It could be even something little like not making the team. Like they're training their ass off and stuff, and like they could be not making the team and then just be all depressed and stuff. I think injuries play like a big role in it. But yeah, it's actually quite difficult to talk about it. Like I've been talking about mental health for a little bit with like a few of my mates and stuff, and actually feel a lot lighter walking away from the conversations. But yeah, I think in the rugby industry, it's something that needs to be talked about. Because I even did a bit of research here in Japan with like the Harajuku girls. Did you know much about the Harajuku girls?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the Harajuku girls, why they like got a lot of color on them and stuff, is because they struggle on the inside and they want to be colorful on the outside. So that was something that like I want to like look into a bit more as well. And I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and
making their own persona to hide themselves. Not hide themselves, but like overcome.
But they suffer from like a lot of anxiety and depression, and I didn't know that. So I was doing a lot of research about depression and stuff and mental health here in Japan, and Harajuku girls come up. Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's something that I want to try and get involved in, sort of while I'm here in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it or like rugby wise, like is it different like mentality compared to the rugby that when you played in the Australian league, and like compared to Japan? Is it different, like mental issue wise?
No, it's the same everywhere around the world. I reckon around the world is totally the same.
Yeah, I think rugby players put a lot of pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
And that can create a lot of anxiety, or when it doesn't go well, you feel like the world is coming down. And like I said earlier, I think perspective is something very important. Like knowing that there's a bigger image, there's a bigger idea, there's a bigger goal that can be achieved, is something that's very important to try and encourage amongst the rugby community. It's just perspective. It's not all about this. There's also this. There's also your family. It's not just you. There's your mates that you can hang out with. So I think that's a very important topic that can be brought up amongst the rugby community, especially in Japan, because there's a lot of foreigners here now, and a lot of young people coming over now, and they're coming over young. And I mean, when I first came here, man, you're on your own, and you're fighting for yourself, and it's hard to get used to a new environment, and that can put a lot of pressure on yourself. So I think trying to encourage awareness is something very big.
Yeah, like I was watching the Netflix series of have you watched Full Swing? The golf.
Oh yeah,
one?
I have.
No, not yet.
So there's it's a documentary about the tour players, PGA tour players who what the mind process they go through. And like I heard this one journalist who said, like, you know, in the end it's just a sport, you know, like in the end it's just golf. So like that's like to people who don't play the sports for like professionally, it's easy to say that. Like it's, in the end, it's just a game. In the end, it's just a sport. But to you guys, like hearing that word, I'm sure it's like, what makes you think you know about the game? Like you're not playing it, so like it's a we could say it easily, but in the end, like it's how you guys take it as a professional player who are playing in that field. So when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, I agree with that, but
they don't understand.
Yeah, it's a taboo word in a way for a professional player, I think.
Yeah, like if I was to go out there and play terrible, and someone says it's just a game, I'll be pissed off.
Yeah.
What you to tell me?
I'll be like, gosh,
you come out and play then.
Yeah. That's the same with me. Like when I'm filming, and I like, for example, I forget to record, and then someone says like, in the end, it's just a show. Like there are other cameras.
But you missed everything.
Yeah,
you
it's
probably
like,
missed the
dude,
best shot.
Yeah. What the heck do you know? It's like that. Like I get frustrated. I get pissed off at myself.
Yeah.
First of all, and I don't want someone else to say that.
That tops it up, man.
Yeah. Like I'm sure they're saying it to make me feel better, but like in the end, it just doesn't make me feel better. It makes me feel like an idiot. You know. So I know how, like mentality, like wise. I think it doesn't matter whether it's a sports or like other things. Everyone has that kind of mentality. If you have like pride in like what you do, like, you know, you guys are professionals. I'm a professional filmmaker. I have a pride in that. Like I know what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. Makes you like, you know, like in the end, it's just you like attacking yourself.
Yeah.
So
it pretty much is, man.
Yeah.
Future wise, long term wise, what's your goals in terms of rugby?
I haven't really thought that far yet, eh? Just pretty much taking step by step. Only just because like just injuries and just seeing how the body holds up. If the body hold up, sorry. Man, I'll be keen to carry on if like I'm good to go.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll just take step by step and get the old body right, mate.
Get the old Achilles.
Yeah. Get the old body right, man. So yeah, moving forward.
What about life after rugby in terms of, are you going to try stay within the sport in some way, or just once you finish with rugby, you finish with rugby?
Being back home the last holiday, man, and seeing everyone play club footy back home, like I actually wouldn't mind going home and having a little jam.
Oh, no, yeah.
So even like when I left Toyota, Shockey, I actually thought I was done. So I pretty much like took heaps of boxes home, sent heaps of boxes home back to Melbourne, and thought like rugby's done for me. I'm just going back to play everything by ear. And I was actually going to go back and play club footy, but then I got the call from the agent telling me not to because teams might be interested here. So, but I was actually like ready to just give it all up and go back and play some club footy and enjoy rugby and have a couple beers with the boys after the game. That's what it's all about, man. Like enjoying each other's company, having good laughs. But yeah,
I think that's something that people don't really know, is that rugby culture. It's an intense one, especially after the game. But I think what people don't really understand is, man, you grind hard for like 5 days, 6 days of the week. And you're like smashing each other. Like you're training against each other. You're smashing each other, like full contact. You're trying to take it. There's so many heated fights and stuff like that. You get angry. You want to fight each other. But then when it comes to, you know, Saturday night or Sunday night or whatever, you sit down and you have a beer. And that's what it's all about. Like,
and
you become, do all the mahi. And you get them treats.
You'll know a lot about that, eh?
Yeah, I'm all about the treats. Skip the mahi. I skip the mahi, I go straight to treats. That's my favourite. I'm a third half kind of guy. That's where the real players come out.
Isn't there like a rule in like drinking for rugby players that like you did this, like you can't hold it in like specific hand?
Yeah. Your right hand.
Right hand. What
Buffalo.
Right hand buffalo?
Yeah, so if you drink with your right hand and you get caught, it's called a buffalo. which means you have to finish whatever's left in your drink.
Like everything.
All of it, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So if you, I've never drank with my right hand in my life, so. No, but yeah, it's called a buffalo.
Yeah.
So if you get caught drinking with your right hand, and someone says buffalo, you have to scull it. And do you know the reason behind
No,
a
I
buffalo?
actually don't even know, man.
So it's like an old rule. So in rugby, it's a gentleman's sport.
Yeah.
And you always have to keep your right hand free so that you can shake someone's hand.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the
right.
rule behind it. So like in olden days when they were drinking around, like celebrating or mixing and mingling, most people are right-handed, but if you have your beer in your right hand and someone comes to greet you, you can't greet them. So that's why there was the rule of you always have your drink in your left hand so that you can always greet someone whenever needed.
What if the guy had a drink on his right hand and then he was trying to shake your hand with his left hand?
That's awkward then. Because you're going to be going like that. Who shakes their hand like that? So yeah, I found out about that. That's the rule behind Buffalo is rugby is a gentleman's sport, so you always have to keep your right hand open to shake someone's hand.
That is interesting
Yeah,
because
that's
like
good to know.
I can't imagine rugby being a gentleman's sport.
Oh.
Not being offensive or anything.
Hey, get him, boys.
Oh god, I got two people.
I'll put the address.
No,
Just
you
in
won't.
the comments.
Just pin down.
Get him. Take him if you need, boys. All rugby players, get him.
You guys are aggressive players, like in the field, very aggressive. It's hard to imagine. It's like
Yeah, but that's the
considered
good thing about rugby is when they have that thing called north side. So when the game's finished, the game's finished. You leave it all out on the field. Like you can have a scrap with someone on the field, but you finish, like you'll shake hands. You see it all on like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, like little reels. Have a little scrap on the field, but after that's all you leave it all out on the field. So that's something really good about
Gentleman's
rugby.
sport.
Gentleman's sport. Okay.
You say it as if it's the normal thing. Don't you? Aren't there players that kind of like holds grudge on, they can't leave it in the field?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, no matter in like any situation, everyone's gonna hold a grudge. But
That's interesting. Wow. Okay.
It doesn't get to the point of where like all 15 players are holding a grudge.
Okay.
But probably the next game they're going to try and get you.
Yeah.
I am
pretty
not
much.
going to the rugby game. Then.
Yeah.
You want to try and get them back. Like that's the competitive nature of rugby. I know if I get done by this guy next game, I'm gonna take his head off.
Yeah. That's pretty much on
Oh,
everyone's mind if they get
okay.
done. So
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, well, okay, wow.
So yeah, that's content right there. So just gonna play a game. We'll get you on a social team. I know a social team that
there's a few here in Tokyo, isn't there?
some real
What's a
good.
social team?
Yeah.
Just play for fun.
Oh, I am not gonna be playing for fun, but if you're gonna tackle me,
Oh, we'll get Ripper Rugby.
Yeah.
The one with the little kids, they play with the little tags. And instead of tackle, you got to rip it off. That's a cool little fun. I teach like 5-year-olds that.
I would rather play that than be injured by you.
The opportunity to play in the Kokaidan Sevens. Have you ever played in that before?
Which one?
The Sevens in Paradise that they have.
Yeah.
You played in it before?
Seven in Heaven.
Seven in Heaven.
Yeah. I played for Tupapa.
Oh, okay.
Tupapa. So yeah, that was before I came to Japan as well.
Oh, yeah.
So that was awesome, man.
Yeah.
Pretty hot, but like as everywhere, and when you go around playing sevens, man, it's quite hot. But yeah. On that note, tell us about your experience though. Like the Hong Kong tens, the Hong Kong tens. This is
Next question.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, if you like the video, subscribe. And if you have any last words.
Yes. Very grateful to have you on here, Joe. Thank you for on your day off. Thank you for giving us your time today.
Yeah.
No worries,
thank
man.
you for being our first guest. And thank you. Oh, for me personally, this is actually quite a real special moment because we got you, Joe, who kind of introduced me to the stuff outside of rugby. You introduced me to like podcasting or clothing and doing your own business thing. You kind of introduced that to me, especially the podcasting thing. We got Suda here as well, who made that thought of mine, that dream of mine, a reality. You put this
Put it all
that's
together.
enough. But you put the studio together for us to be able to do this journey, and so I'm real grateful to have the both of you here with me today. So first of all, thanks for your time today, cousin.
No worries.
Looking forward to hearing more of your journey and hopefully seeing you around more.
Working together, maybe.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, nah. Grateful, man. Thanks for having me on there. Thanks for having us as your first guest, mate. Wouldn't miss it for anything in the world, bro. So grateful, eh? Stay grateful. Try and be better than the person you were yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I
So,
like that.
yeah, let's carry on with the journey
100%.
and just do our best, boys.
Always.
Yes,
Thanks for having
definitely.
me.
Yeah, if we could definitely want you on the next time if you
Oh,
ever
good.
have the free time. You know,
Yeah, whenever, man.
anytime.
Let me know. But yeah, happy. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Gonna love and leave you. See ya.